So, Michael,
That was long, sorry.
you are undoubtedly one of those companies, but we are here to talk about the brand perspective. So, what do you think's in it for brands?
I think we've made a lot of progress in the last 12 months on new currencies, and if you look at where we were a year ago, we had one TV network, one agency holding company transacting on our currency. This year we have the top 6 TV networks all ready to transact on our currency. We have the top 5 holding companies transacting on our currency and preparing for the upfronts. It's a very different landscape, and I think one thing that gets lost in that is what is the value for the brand and the marketer, because unless they are in, then it doesn't happen for everyone else. I think the value for the brand is being able, I think there's a few things. Obviously, more accurate data, using big data versus panels will mean you have different inputs into your media allocation decisions. You'll be able to optimize more effectively against reach and frequency. You can look at going beyond age and gender to advanced audiences, and you also get faster data. It's not going to take 120 days to actualize campaigns, so that means you get less waste and you can optimize more effectively.
I mean, it's a massive list of benefits, let's be honest. I mean, we're moving into a marketplace in which brands have real choice and much more sophisticated products and capabilities becoming much more readily available to them, which has to be great, right?
Yeah, I think, again, I think sometimes, every time we've had the opportunity to talk to brands about the value, a lot of effort has gone into the evaluation of the data and the accuracy, and that's great, and we'll continue to innovate. The operational piece is incredibly important, as Paramount is leading there. But the value for the advertiser is often not well communicated, and I think there is a lot of data that we can help surface and communicate. One thing that we heard from our clients is that the agencies are sometimes struggling to have the conversation with their brand about why they should move to a new currency, like why should they care? And even brands, I think, are having some challenges having the conversation with their senior leadership about why they should move. It's going to look different. Is that good or bad? Is this better or worse? Those are the things that I think everyone is struggling a little bit with, and we as a company are trying to put more effort into that.
Do you think some categories of brands benefit disproportionately? Are there some brands, for whom these new capabilities coming into the marketplace really deliver disproportionately large benefits when it comes to TV ad spend?
I think everyone benefits. There is a lot of over frequency in linear. There is, in areas of under frequency as well. Having the sweet spot of frequency and being able to deduplicate between linear and digital and optimize that distribution to get the best outcome is pretty universal across all verticals. There's not a lot of difference when you look at it in aggregate. I think for the verticals and the brands that have rich data assets, advanced audience strategies, there is definitely better performance that you can get from applying that advanced data set to your buys. And obviously, if you're measuring outcomes, you can apply that to your audience guarantees in ways that will help you do better guarantees overall. So I think there's a benefit for everyone having a cross-platform currency. There's additional benefits if you have more data and more sophistication.
So next question, do brands really need to contract directly with measurement providers? I mean, measurement is becoming more complicated. Everyone has measurement partnerships and relationships. But do brands need their own relationships?
The brands don't need to contract directly with the currency providers. I think they are able to use us as currency by working through an agency that has a currency relationship, and with the networks that have currency relationships. There is a lot of extra value that you unlock with measurement, and a lot of the times the brand is the one who contracts with us, for example, to get better measurement, whether that's outcomes, whether that's different insights that help identify audiences to do guarantees on, or looking at things like frequency. So The brands do contract with us directly, but they don't have to for currency.
Have you ever bumped up into situations where there are slightly different measurement partnerships in place with the media owner, the agency, and the brand? Does that ever happen? Does that create confusion or not a problem?
How do you mean different?
If NBCU is all in an iSpot, hypothetically, I know everyone is kind of contracting with everybody else. I'm just wondering if different parts of the ecosystem have slightly different relationships with different measurement providers. Does that ever create questions about what do I use? How does this work?
For measurement, I think you can have multiple relationships. For currency, I think eventually you will only have one. Like a brand will only have one. You know, I think we've moved from a year ago calling out alternative currencies to new currencies, now to multi-currency. I think for a brand, it's not a multi-currency, it's a single currency. For a TV network or an agency, they have to support multiple currencies. So I don't think that, you know, that's going to be an issue. I mean, you know, as I said at the beginning, a year ago, we had one currency contract. Now we have the top 6 TV networks. We're continuing to onboard more of the sell side onto currency, and I see that being less of an issue as things evolve.
So, big question. How do you think brands are feeling about the 2023 upfronts? It's obviously a very different set of upfronts to the ones we had, say, just 3 years ago. Is everyone comfortable? Are there things we're still learning to figure out? What's your take?
I think the brands that understand the opportunity are very excited, and they're leaned in. They do, as Colleen said, rely on their agency to provide the POV, and the ones that have received that POV or created their own are really leaning in and very excited about, either shifting 10-15% of their budget onto a new currency and testing and learning, or in some cases we have clients that want to go all in, and we're helping them replan their upfront and look at years of historical data to try to understand performance and optimization in the upfront. So I think there is sort of 2 types of clients, if you like. Some that are going peeling off budgets, others that are going all in. So, but overall, I think high engagement for the brands that understand what's happening, and that's everyone's job in this room, networks, agencies, our job as well. I see it as really communicating the value of why should they care, because there is a significant value to be unlocked, and I think when you see the data, it really makes sense.
And the positive thing, it seems to me, that there are massive education efforts underway. We heard from Celeste a little earlier. We're going to hear from her on the panel. There's a lot of work to help everybody navigate this new marketplace and really take advantage of these opportunities. So it'll take a bit of time, but we're definitely heading in the right direction, right?
I think so. Yeah. Again, I think every time we have clients that are able to understand the full opportunity and see the data, compare what it would look like with a new currency versus the old currency, and then all the benefits that come with the new currency, reach frequency, advanced audiences, outcomes. It's undeniable that it's better. I think that the old way of doing it is definitely wasteful, and why everyone hates it so much.
And getting them to see that opportunity, is that literally just a question of meeting after meeting after meeting, painstakingly taking marketing teams through these benefits face to face so they really get their heads around how it works? Is that your...
Yeah, that's been the last couple of years for us.
Right.
And I don't see that changing, but I think as everyone's understanding of what's happening improves, and you see more POVs coming out from agency holding companies to their clients, helping educate them and provide their objective view into what's happening, the education level improves, but there's still a lot to do, especially when you think about how much the brands have seen of that. It's still pretty small.
So final question, you talk to brands regularly. Is there anything you think brands, marketeers would like to see the sellers do to support the new marketplace?
I think the brands, the ones that we've talked to, they just want to make it work and not, have the cost efficiency be there and have it work from a financial standpoint. And they're all in. I think they're all, the ones that understand the opportunity, are all in, and they see a ton of value. They just don't, they don't want to have sellers make it more difficult, which, from what I've seen, all the sellers that we work with are very, very much invested in making it easy for the brands, easy for the agencies. And, financially it's going to make sense on the back end because the return on ad spend will be there.
And last question. This has come up a few times during the course of today. It's the payment question. We had someone on a panel earlier saying, I pay a certain amount of money to some big measurement providers. I'm now having to pay for other measurement services. I've got to grow my team. It's getting complicated. Do we still have some work to do to work out the kind of costs of this?
In the history of capitalism...
Fine. OK, we get it.
I'm quoting Travis.
Eventually the overall cost
Right.
for the ecosystem comes down. And we are eating a lot of the costs. That's why we raised hundreds of millions of dollars to fund this test and learn phase that, that frankly is very expensive. So that's one of the things that we're absorbing. But eventually, where it nets out, I think, is a more efficient marketplace.
So you are expected to drop your prices?
Yes. Well, our prices are not high. We're a fraction of what currently exists with Nielsen, but
even with the multiple currencies in the market, the net gain I still think will be lower than what exists today.
It's all good. You've set us up for the next panel. Michael, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jon.
Michael Parkes.